I've talked about this before, but I'm a big believer in what my business coach says. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And when you think about how people see you and perceive you, that's not something you want to question. That's not something you want to give people the ability to create their own kind of perception. You want it to be really clear, this level of confidence that you have and the credibility you bring. I think your website can do that for you.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of you having done your own. Because you have the knowledge, you have so much knowledge on that aspect that when we did rebuild it, it was very strategic, very thought out. It was so much easier to get it done.
But it was so much nicer on my side to know that you could do it. I didn't have to. I'll never forget the day that I went to show someone my website and they were like, yeah, your website looks a little funky. This is before you did it, Sandy, when I did it. And I went and looked at it, and because I did some updates thinking that was a good thing, the whole website updated to code. And so the outside front end of the website was an HTML code. And I had this moment where my stomach was living in my throat very, very uncomfortably and thought, Stephanie, you just flushed 3 months down the drain. Now I don't have to worry about that. So there is a peace of mind that comes with collaborating with someone like you who knows their stuff. And I'm really excited for you and I to dive in and kind of unpack things that many authors and authorpreneurs aren't thinking about probably when it comes to their website and what their website can not only do for them, but can do without them making movement. Like it can work on its own, to really how it's a key differentiator. So if you're listening to, this season of the Empowered Author Podcast, I want you to rest assured, Sandy and I aren't going to try to sell you on a website. You should know you already need one. Instead, what we are doing is really providing you over these next 6 episodes with some deep dive information on how to ensure that your digital presence, including your website, is up to par, is doing what it needs to do for you, is working for you, not against you, and that you're being innovative. You're thinking about it in different ways. And hopefully you'll walk away either realizing, yeah, my website's doing some great things, or maybe I need to refresh it, or I should probably have a conversation with somebody that's a strategist or a web developer. And hopefully this season will give you some insights there. So before we get started though, Sandy, I feel like we have to start with going back to what season 2 of the Empowered Author Podcast was talking about, and that's all things author brand. I feel like we need to start there because I feel like a lot of authors that we work with usually come to us saying, I think I need a website for my book. And you and I always try to help them understand that your book has a place, but you're bigger than your book. What do you think about that? Like when someone comes to you and says, or when I come to you and say, hey, Sandy, we have a new author. Where do we start? What are kind of your thoughts?
I think a lot of people think that their book is their selling point, that is their, USP, their unique selling proposition. And I just don't believe that it is. I believe that the author themselves is that brand as an author. You're building your website for your audience, whether it's this book or your next book or the one after that.
That takes some mental mindset shifts for some people, because some people go, well, they don't care about me. They care about my book's message. Well, listen, I hate to break it to you, anybody that's listening right now, but it's likely that the core message you've written about isn't something someone else hasn't written about, but your perspective of that message is what's unique, which means you're the unique differentiator, and they're going to be interested in you as it pertains to the book, not the other way around.